for non-working candidates, 7 to 8 months will be enough. But you have to be consistent towards your preparation. And for working candidates, time allocation is a problem, like time management. So you need to prepare at least for 8 to 9 months, but consistency should be there. And prepare hard and trust, have faith on one source, and I think you will be able to clear the exam.
Hello and welcome everybody to our channel anujindal.in. Today we have with us Miss Anupama Yadav, who has cleared SEBI Grade A 2022 examination with flying colors. I welcome and congratulate Anupama for her achievement.
Thank you so much, sir.
So we'll start with her educational background and her history, because that is one thing which tells a lot about a candidate and his or her preparation. So we'll start with that, Anupama. If you can tell us something about your educational background and your history.
Okay, so I belong to Kanpur and I'm a commerce graduate. So I have completed my BCom from VSSD College and then post-graduation from Chandigarh Group of Colleges, Chandigarh.
Okay, so you said you did your graduation in Kanpur. So what was the subject of your graduation?
Sir, in graduation, all the subjects were there, but my major interest was towards finance.
Towards finance.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
so bachelor's in commerce and majorly interest in finance, and then she said she pursued her MBA. So I would like to know something about your graduation days. Okay, so graduation is one thing when we have just come out from our school, and we are very excited, because first time in college. So the studies took a backseat, in those, especially first or second semester. So if you can tell us what were your days like, where you were only, enjoying your days, your college life, or there was some your orientation towards your career, were you preparing for something or something of that sort?
So, sir, after my 12th, graduation, BCom, and the subjects were new to me. So, my focus was there in study only at that point. And then after that, within passage of time, I developed interest towards the finance and decided to go for MBA.
Okay. So this is one important point. That she said that it was the bachelor's BCom was very new to her because she was from biology background in her school. So switching from biology directly to commerce, it's something difficult. Although she may have some interest in commerce, that is different. But switching entirely a different stream. So yes, that's become difficult to manage. So you have to, necessarily give time to your studies, because
yes,
that is something new to you. So she said that she developed interest in finance, and that is why I think she went for MBA. So I would like to know about your preparation for MBA. So I think you prepared while you were pursuing your BCom. So how did you prepare? Did you purchase any course, any test series, or were you preparing on your own?
Sir, actually, in the final semester, I prepared by my own. So I used to take up the books and practice MCQ from there only.
Okay, so majorly you were preparing from books,
yes,
not any test series of that sort. So if you can tell us, which examinations you wrote, CAT, NMAT or MAT, and what was your score, and finally, what college did you took admission in?
Okay, so my score in CAT was 92 percentile. And MAT was around 95, but due to financial problem, I was not able to get into the good college because of the high fees. So I took admission in the Chandigarh Group of Colleges.
Now this thing is, I would say like 92 percentile or 95 percentile, and that too with self-preparation without giving mocks, and that is her first attempt. And she's very young. You would be surprised, she's only 23. So that is one thing I would say, that 92 percentile is a very good score considering all the factors that I just mentioned, and that I think was only due to her consistency and disciplined study, because otherwise you could not score even 80 percentile without consistent study. So yes, you took admission in your MBA. So now I would like to know something about your MBA journey, because I know MBA as a course is very rigorous. It requires a lot of hard work, smart work. You are given a lot of assignments, project, internships, and all those stuff. We all are aware. So if you can tell us how did you manage all those things, and besides doing your MBA, were you preparing for some examinations, maybe some government exam or some higher study exam?
Okay, so while I was doing MBA, so in the back of my mind there was a thing that I want to go for the government sector job. So in the MBA only I started preparing for the IBPS. So like I prepared for that and was able to clear IBPS after completing my MBA within a year.
Okay, so like in her final year, basically she started preparing for IBPS. So as you mentioned that she the specialization in her MBA was marketing and finance, and she gradually developed interest from her bachelor's days only. She developed interest in finance. So like you said, you prepared for IBPS. So again, I would like to know in detail, maybe your a day schedule, that how are you allocating your time between your MBA coursework and between your IBPS studies, since you were preparing on your own. So how did you manage both the things?
Like in MBA also we were having the placement, so we were having aptitude test for that. So quants, English and reasoning were there. So along with that also I took some other courses also to prepare for the IBPS examination. So like I used to prepare in the evening and after coming from the college, like from 8 to 12 o'clock, like this.
Okay. So I would like to elaborate on this, that how are you, like how much time did you allocate it, or like how many months did you study for IBPS consistently? Basically, I would like to know that if you are pursuing any course, so at least how much time you should be, you know, what is the period you should be devoting to the preparation for a examination which is as competitive as IBPS?
I was using the YouTube channel. I didn't subscribe for any.
Okay.
So from there only I practiced a lot. And then in the morning session I used to take the current affairs session. So that was it.
Okay, and rest of the time, quant, reasoning and English.
Rest of the time I used to practice.
So yes, so one thing which is coming out from this conversation is again and again her consistency and hard work. Like how she was consistent in her study. It was not like she studied for 1 week and then the motivation went down. It was not like that. She was very consistent in her study. Be it lesser number of hours, that does not matter, but you have to be consistent. So as she said, she got placement in IBPS as a probationary officer, and now everybody of us understand that it is a very hectic job. So I would like to know that with your IBPS job, how are you managing time to prepare for examination which is as competitive and as challenging as SEBI?
Okay, so sir, I came across this examination in the year 2020 itself, like when my final result was out. But due to COVID, my joining was delayed for a few months. So I studied at that cycle for 3 to 4 months. So, but at that point of time, I was not able to clear the mains. So in the year 2022, I again fill up the form, and this time I decided to at least devote a few hours in a day consistently, like regularly. So in the morning I used to devote for 3 to 4 hours, like early, waking up early in the morning like 5 or 6 o'clock, and then studying till 9. And then after coming back from the office, I used to devote from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock. So that was my schedule, and I followed it consistently, like regularly, no delay and nothing, no distraction. So yeah.
Now that is very commendable, okay, because with the banking job, she was studying in the morning, she was studying in the evening and the night. Now many candidates, I would say majority of the candidates are not able to maintain this consistency and discipline. So this is one input which you should definitely take from this interview, that it does not depend whether does not matter whether you are working in a bank, whether you are working in a corporate office, but still you can extract time, and morning time is the best. As she mentioned that she was able to extract 2-3 hours in the morning, because morning time, whatever you study in the morning, it retains for a very long time. So and she mentioned that she gave one attempt in 2020, but yes, due to COVID and all, because that was her joining time, so obviously it would have been difficult for her to manage preparation apart from that joining, because already everybody was so stressed out because of the uncertainties at the point of time.
And new place of joining and all.
Yeah, because she lives in Kanpur, the posting was in Lucknow, so again it becomes difficult if you are going for the first time out of your hometown. So yes, that is very commendable, this consistency which I can sense from her from our conversation. So I would also like to know, Anupama, like there are various examinations in banking also, like JAAIB, CIB. So did you prepare or did you clear any of those examinations? And if yes, how did those examinations help you in your preparation for SEBI?
Okay, so I cleared JAIB in the year 2022 itself. So before SEBI mains it had.
Okay.
So I cleared it. So mostly the subjects are same, like there is accounts. So that helped me.
Okay. Now again, this is that she also cleared JIB in the first attempt. Although there is no negative marking, but again it's difficult to clear because many candidates are not able to clear it in the first attempt. So that is again commendable. Okay, so I would also like to know from Anupama, that how was her preparation for interview specifically, because interview is one such area, for which candidates become a little casual. So how did you prepare? What were the sources of your interview mocks or any material you referred to?
Okay, so like when the interview call letter were out, so I gave the mock interview very early. Like I was not prepared much at that point of time. So after the feedback, the panel gave me. So they asked me to at least go through the SEBI website and reading newspaper and especially articles that are related to SEBI. So I go through that, and the regular updates on the current affairs, especially related to capital market, that is important for the interview. And HR questions, like you have to know yourself from where you belong, what you did, all like your graduation, post graduation. You have to be thorough with it. Like they can ask anything in HR. So that was it.
Okay, so yes, this is important that you have to prepare for both HR as well as
HR and as well as technical. You have to be very confident at least about HR part and your educational background.
Yeah. So I think after you clear your phase 2 and the results are out, I think you get at least 1 month to prepare for the interview.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I would like to know that whether you started preparing earlier, before phase 2 only, or after clearing your phase 2, did you start with the preparation of interview?
No. After clearing the interview, I started preparing for. After clearing phase 2 examination, I started preparing for the interview.
So then again, I would like to go a little deeper because that is what our viewers are looking for. So how are you allocating the time? Were you giving weekly mocks, interview mocks, or you were referring to some particular study material, and how were you managing time between your bank and the interview preparation?
Like for interview, the most important thing is how aware you are about the economy. So I used to read the newspaper in the morning. Then I go through all the SEBI website, all the most important topics like about SEBI. Then the updates of the circulars are there. Then press release are there, annual reports are there. So I prepared that thoroughly. So if you are going for a SEBI interview, then you should know in and outs of the SEBI. So that was it. And then about HR questions, I remember I prepared almost 200 questions about myself.
Okay.
From my back.
So were you preparing in front of the mirror, or were you, speaking those answers out to your father, maybe to your friend or somebody?
Yes, to my colleagues.
Okay, to your colleagues.
Yes, sir.
Now that's important, colleagues, or if you have a small study group or sort of something, that also helps in your preparation, especially if you are preparing on your own. So, as she mentioned, she prepared 200 HR questions. Now, this is one thing I feel many candidates are not doing, which is very important, because we also say, like Anuj sir also mentioned in one of his sessions on YouTube, that prepare as many HR questions as possible, because if you are prepared beforehand for those HR questions, then it is very helpful, because interviewers are very smart. They somehow put you in that situation that you get puzzled out.
Yeah, you never know what they will ask and what the next question will be.
Yes, so it's better to be. So that's commendable. And one thing more which is coming out from this conversation is that Anupama she's from a very humble background. Like you can see that her graduation or maybe her MBA was from a very normal college. But again, that does not matter to an organization like SEBI or RBI, because they are not looking for a brand or a tag. What they are looking for is the attitude and the aptitude of the candidate, and I feel both of them are present in Anupama. So this is one thing, that you should not only run after brand names or tags, rather you should work on yourself, you may be belonging to any college or organization, that does not matter to a large extent, right? So, Anupama, as we are moving towards the closing of this interview, I would also like to know that, I feel candidates are running after different sources. They watch one YouTube channel, they also watch other YouTube channels, then they refer to multiple books. So what is the best strategy? Whether as a candidate, I should stick to one source or I should be reading from different sources?
Before you are trusting only one source. So before that, you should at least search and see the YouTube videos and decide that this is the course that is fitting to me, perfect for me. So after that only you can choose your source, but please rely on only one source. Have faith on that source and practice as many questions as possible. And like MCQs, you can practice from anywhere. But for the theory parts, you can rely on only one source.
Yeah, so that's important.
That can be any source.
So this is one important point, that you may refer to different sources, but after that you have to come to a conclusion that this is the best source for me. You can do that scanning, beforehand, but once you are done with that, you stick to one course, because if you are running after different sources without any faith in either of them, then you'll end up, reading one thing multiple times and getting confused. So that is one important key input, you are taking from this session from Anupama. So before we close the session, Anupama, any final words about the aspirants who are preparing for SEBI Grade A 2023, like how they should prepare, or any important insight which you have got? Because since you are working, so from that perspective, I would like to know, especially for those candidates who may be working and who feel, so you can tell for both working as well as non-working candidates.
Okay, so like for non-working candidates, 7 to 8 months will be enough. But you have to be consistent towards your preparation. And for working candidates, time allocation is a problem, like time management. So you need to prepare at least for 8 to 9 months, but consistency should be there. And prepare hard and trust, have faith on one source, and I think you will be able to clear the exam.
Okay, so that's important. Okay, you have to start early, because you have seen on our YouTube channel also that I am reiterating this point, that start early, because it's always beneficial if you start early for any particular
exam. Yes, it's like with the passage of time, your doubts getting clear, and then you will get time to practice mock.
Yeah, you'll get time for mocks, you'll get time for revision, because many candidates wait for the notification, but it's better that you start with because SEBI is very unpredictable in the sense that notification can come anytime. So it's better to start early. I think with that we can conclude the session. So if I sum up this interview, so the key takeaways from this interview would be that, the first and the foremost thing is consistency and hard work, which is very essential. There is no shortcut for preparation. Don't go for shortcuts. If anybody is telling you any shortcut, then
there is no shortcut.
There is no shortcut. Beware of that. Then after that, another important takeaway from this interview is that working aspirants can, clear the examination. Even if you are working in a job as hectic as bank PO, still you can extract time for your preparation only if you are determined and motivated. And finally, you have to have faith in only one source. You may scan different sources and then decide, but once you have decided, then stick to it and have faith in that, because reading for multiple sources will only confuse you. So I think these are 3 or 4 important takeaways which you can take from this interview. So I would like to thank and congratulate Anupama once again for sparing her valuable time for our interview. Thank you very much, guys. Take care and have a nice day.